Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. So, yesterday I made a video talking about the 4th of July and the contributions that black people made to the creation, the formation of the United States. Now, of course, I know that there's white people who think that they are getting something by contributing to white supremacy. But the truth of the matter is, 99.9999% of white people, and I mean 99.999% of white people, gain absolutely nothing from white supremacy. It does nothing. How does it benefit you for you to go out and say, ancient Egypt wasn't black, which is ridiculous? How does it benefit you to say, no, there weren't 6 black presidents? No, black people have never done anything. How does that benefit you? It doesn't. And all you do is perpetuate white supremacy, which only helps the very people you probably actually hate. And that is the white Jewish people and the white elites that sit at the very teeny top. It does absolutely nothing for you. Now, it probably really makes you very angry and upset that you have a black man such as I, who grew up rich, who's educated, who lives basically a very luxurious life, and you don't. It probably just makes you so upset. I just can't fathom it. Here's the deal. The truth of the matter is, you don't know real history. In fact, not just the black thing, but everything about the history of the country. And such things as you don't even know the half of the horrors of Islam around the world. Islam is not a religion. As much as they want to say it's a religion, it's not a religion. It has nothing to do with approaching God. Islam is exactly what it has shown itself to be. Why do I bring up Islam? Because there's so many things that they have hidden about Islam as to the reasoning that you feel guilty about a lot of things today that you shouldn't feel guilty about. And it's all through the machinations of the powered elite. The Jews, who supposedly are supposed to hate Islam, right, are at the very top pulling the strings to make sure that Islam does what Islam is supposed to do. And that is slaughter a bunch of white people so they don't have to go about slaughtering their own people. They have Islam to do that for them. The, you've seen it, and I don't want to get a bunch of responses from people who think that they're Muslim, and I believe I am saying the right thing, that you think you're a Muslim. You think that you belong to a religion. I have a political science degree in international studies with a master's, not a master's, but almost a master's. I didn't write my thesis in public administration. I speak several languages. I've lived overseas. I know firsthand. I've studied the histories overseas. I didn't have to study from America. I didn't have to study your watered down version or your whitewashed version of history. I actually lived overseas where I can actually partake in real truth of the matter history. Islam is not a religion. It is a tool of the white people to eradicate white people, to colonize their own people. This is what's really going on. So they don't have to colonize like they have done and strip the black nations in Africa of all of their wealth and to keep them in perpetual conflict, famine, thirst, right? and destroy the empires of Africa, and then turn around and teach other peasant white people that, oh no, Africans never had empires. Oh, what are the remains of these palaces all over Africa? Those were white. Literally, we have white people saying those were white people. The palaces that were thousands of years old when white people weren't even around. Yes, white people are a new breed. There are everything that you know about white people is all brand new, literally all brand new. And white people had zero technology and zero influence in the world until about 400 years. This is in retaliation to what really black people did to them. And I kept seeking the response. Why are white people so hell bent on saying that white is the best? White is the best when we already know by looking at real history that white is not the best. And white, even in the United States, even today, white could not have gotten to the position that it is without the contributions of everybody else. Oh, white had the best technology. No. You didn't even invent the stuff that you invented. Now, you had some scheming and conniving people who would gather together the smartest and the brightest Africans, Asians, and what have you, and then steal their technology. Yes, you had a lot of that, but there was not a lot of white people in the letters that you write, not invented by white people. The math, the numbers that you write, not invented by white people. The mathematics that you know, not invented by white people. So you're understanding that you don't benefit from white supremacy at all. It doesn't even behoove you to even contribute to it. Because white people are not superior. It seems on the face of it that everybody else is superior. You haven't invented your own language. Even your language that you speak is watered down, filtered, watered down, filtered, watered down, filtered. Bacon created English as we know it. And of course they're going to say, oh, he didn't exist or he didn't do it, and that was Shakespeare. And I said, well, Shakespeare was physically incapable of writing everything that he did, and there was if you step back and actually study it, there was a concerted effort to bring English as a one language. You do know that in England, on every block, they spoke a different language that they would call English, but it was a completely different language. There's so much that you just don't know, and you don't benefit from trying to put black people down or saying something so ridiculous as black people who are only 13% of the population commit 60%. Here, let me put this to rest. The black population that is criminal is only 1% of the black population. So it's not 13%. It's 1% of the black people, which is not even 1% of the population of the United States. Here's another thing that they're not telling you. Most violent crimes, 60% of them are committed by Muslims. But they can't say that these days. Blacks are not a majority of the prison population and have not been for quite some time. First, it was overtaken by white people, then it was overtaken by Hispanic, although that's not a race. So it'd be white, Hispanic, or brown. That's a Native American mix, native mix of whatever country that they're from. And now it's being overtaken by Muslims, since we're importing like 100,000 Muslims. They've already come. And this whole notion that you can't say no to Muslims. Yes, you can say no to Muslims. They're here to kill you. They're not here to seek out a better life. They're not here to be Americans. You need to hear some sort of honesty, finally. And here's the honest truth. You're fighting the very people who have held you at every turn. That is black people. Why you think putting black people down helps you, I have no idea. But the sleeping giant is awaking, and you are going to be sorely, just like men are awakening to women in this day and age, in this modern era where people are no longer determined by their gender. Men don't have to take care of women, and women can't sit idly by in a marriage. Those days are over. Now you have to hold your own, and that is modern marriage. It's destruction of marriage, obviously, because literally there's no reason for women to get married. If they can hold down a job and pay for themselves, why should they get married either? And this has been all a conniving and scheme planned from the very beginning. Let's destroy marriage and destroy white people, because white people are the ones who are suffering from this. And I keep saying this is not a thing for black people, because black culture is completely different from white culture. White American culture doesn't operate like black culture. And it's ironic that you've convinced a few so-called lesbian black women that they need to be feminists. This is so ridiculous. They just need to turn in their black card and go join the white race. Have fun with that. It's all a part of the schemes and plans that are at the top. It is not you. You benefit. You white people do not benefit from white supremacy. Mostly everybody who I'm talking to. You don't benefit from it. Ew, we can't let those black people. Ew, the black people are richer than you. Half the time. They will not come out and refuse to come out and show you just how many middle class and upper class blacks there really are in the United States. People who make $100,000 or more, people who make $300,000 more. They refuse to show you these people, although they're on in front of you in the news. It's so funny. They literally have black people who are in the 1% telling you lies about black people and doing it for money and laughing all the way to the bank because you believe such stupidity. I've done a few, and I'm going to revise it, talking about the richest black areas. Well, people came out against me and said, well, that's just two people making $30,000 a year. That's just two people making $50,000 a year. Well, here's the problem. There are literally white people who don't believe that black people make that much money. Although we're talking about graduation rates, we're talking about what areas black people go into and what kind of salaries that they're screaming for, and how black people are not the lower class workers that they used to be. And I'm talking about workers. I'm talking about slavery. Everybody wants to go back to slavery, but that's a long time ago. We've had quite the graduation from that era. It's funny, you don't want to pay for reparations for slavery, but for some reason you want to bring it up all the time, which again, it does not benefit you. You are keeping yourself ignorant. Anyway, I'm going to revise the one about the richest black areas, but you don't want to know that. You don't want to know that there are black people literally who will have the police stop you in their area and say, "What are you doing here? This is not the place for you. You need to go back to the other side of the tracks or wherever you belong." And finally, it is not true that the U.S. government hires more black people than anybody else. Small black-owned businesses hire black people more than anybody else. The government continuously refuses to keep track of small business. You saw that in 2008. Why is that so shocking to you? Thank you for watching the Shakaama Life Show.